I can easily defeat her. I'm wearing frankincense and myrrh right now. I don't need that shit. I just don't. Because I'm compromised. In the past, she had told me I could defeat her. But I can't deal with this shit. It's just, some gotta give. And some gotta be done. I gotta reclaim my shit back. And I'm gonna do that today. I know what I gotta do, and I've been delaying on it hard. Don't sympathize with that Cassandra motherfucker. That's an evil motherfucker. Say that right now. I look back at that video and where my parents, I saw them being devoured by giant roaches. I heard this entity took them out their body. We ain't playing no games. My father's being used for that. You know, use 6.9, 6.94, 6.95 hertz for discernment. I had my brother come to me, Kristen, saying, "Hey, Raven, I'm happy to see you here." And he was in looked like a place where violence is done every single fucking day, and that made me cry. If I knew, and I knew it in jail to use frequencies to pull myself out, if I would have known that, the frequencies, because it helps you get your shit direct, accurately. Magic is good, but not all the way, because you got to direct. I would have conjured up the frequencies, put myself back together, get my people out that situation. I saw my dad turn into a roach one night. I saw it with this, you know, when I brought, you know, something, calling on ancestors. Bunch of Cajuns and Creoles. Well, English. Blacks, Creoles. With that being said, I saw my parents as roaches. My mother was trapped in the roach room looking ghostly from that timeline. Same thing with my father in this Cassandra Nunez killing him off. Her and them other people at the shop here. And my dad, and another, whittled down to his soul consciousness. It's tragic what happened to my family, and I saw the fate in the future of what's going to happen. Something about a Quetzalcoatl curse. I know Hecate has the whip to be able to control him. So some got to be done. I'm supposed to, I sold as an incarnation of Hecate. Some got to be done. I remember having a dream where Dan Aykroyd was coming through trying to help me out with Baron Samedi. All right, so continuing on, from what I understand with my poor dad, in an astrovision where I almost got pulled in to it, sent from what I understand, I was stuck in a place. I was almost about to get stuck in a place where I saw giant entities like this that pull people underground and rape them. I was on carousels. That's how you travel through people's consciousnesses in the astral plane. I had one that was white at one point. And I remember being in the house that was occupied by a black ancestor and seeing a wetback occupying it, looking dressed like Baron Samedi. And I heard that that's Cassandra Nunez. But anyways, they had some entities that looked like SNCC. I just saw like somebody punch me right here. Red on my face. That looked like SNCC from Little Monsters. And it was very gray, meaning the roach realm. And I saw Dan Aykroyd trying to pull me out. I had a crush on him as a girl. Off of Ghostbusters. I remember the scene where he was being unzipped. It was one of my favorite. And I was at one point on the ground, and I saw like a Hispanic girl get, kidnapped and all that. I was around entity attachments. I heard Kanye West stuck in the same motherfucking thing. Same thing with Black China. That's a clone. That's not her. She, like Jeff Bezos, is stuck in the fourth dimension. They got his body, his real body, placed in the fourth dimension. But it's made to seem like the third. But she'll see buildings shape-shift and all of that. And they got Jeff Bezos, like they had with me, heavily drinking, especially with certain timelines. Reason why I bring up that out of body, astral projection, near death is because my parents' family were conscious, meaning they ain't in their bodies. This is back when I was staying at that shelter on Skid Row. I should have done something back then. If I knew the codes, the frequencies, I would have been getting my shit back, freeing my people. I would have got back in my body. 808 Hertz is the key to doing that. The anniversary of that soul swap is coming up on August the 22nd, 2025. I would have done it. I wish I would have. Could have helped my family. Being under Illuminati control, I saw them controlling certain parts of my consciousness. It's heavily oppressive. And I'm going to say this. I saw them before in my timelines. Going back to 1991, I used to have recurrent astral visions. Of being underground, of being backstage with Jay-Z with a couple of kids. Mind you, he didn't blow up with Big Pimp until 1997. I remember because I was there, I was in existence, I was a teenager. 1991, I was a small child. I was about 8 years old, very precocious and smart. Used to watch a lot of Weapon. Dad reminded me of that, not really, but a lot of like pro-black militant shows. I remember living single. I remember Martin. I remember Rock. A lot of people sleep on that, man. Those shows bring back a lot of great memories for me. It's enough to make me want to cry. There were a couple of others as well. I remember there was one where black guy, he was a broadcaster, kind of foreshadowed my future. I got that broadcaster voice. I just saw like him here. Same word. And and he kept turning white and white and white. And you started to look like David Duke, from what I understand. With that being said, I thought that it was about rape. But turns out it was to rape us of our blessings, and I had my Baphomet stolen. You can use 295 hertz, 295 hertz, combined with 695 hertz, 446 hertz, 1714, 1715 hertz, get shit back. 1248 hertz to defeat them. These codes here to find. I gotta do something. I'm gonna do something about this shit today. So the Illuminati were already in my timelines. From what I understand, Sean Corey Carter took my bathroom, my shit taken, blessings taken, and he's done that to a bunch of people in their timelines, including himself, where he never made a deal with the Illuminati, so he was destined to make a deal with them no matter what, to get well. And, you know, when you have a black card, you fall under Illuminati purview, meaning control. And you're given a limit. You got to look like you're spending within your means. You can't say this, you can't say that. That's why Justin Bieber be going fucking crazy. That's why he be doing a lot of cuckoo ass fucking things. You know, he talked about, somebody spoke on his behalf a long time ago, back in my old timeline, about how he went to church. And they told him he went to church. And he talked about, like with Jay-Z and all of that, he got put through the rituals or through the rigors of being raped by fucking niggas. That's why he has an aversion to him. He didn't want to date Lionel Richie's daughter because she was half black, from what I understand. He didn't want anything to do with that. But they told him he's going to have to rape and torture and kill an African child. And that's when he pulled out all the stops and said, no, I'm not going to do that. And he's been going crazy, just like with Britney Spears. She got that $300 million limit. I remember in my timeline, it kept altering online too. They would say 10 million, 130, 130, 103 million. They give them, that's the problem with not being on the gold standard, when it's interest rates, and this is what Gaddafi wanted to remove so that they could bring, equality through equity and all of that to Africa, El Kabulan. Because interest rates are usury that the Rothschilds and all of that, Red Shield is what their name is. They got the house of the Rothschilds. I think it's called Red Shield. An astroplane. You know, they got my father cut up in their consciousnesses. I heard Nathan Rothschild, a David Rothschild, a Rockefeller. Heard in her consciousness. Anyways, with that being said, from what I heard, with that being said, from what I heard in the spirit plane, okay, I actually did an experiment with Allah one time where everything got put on the gold standard. I'm not going to say too much, but manipulating that timeline. Manipulating that timeline. So little. The problem with interest rates is it's based on arbitrary values. Very, very arbitrary. It's instituted on the value or worth of a nation in the eyes of others. And we know that they're going to debase Al Kabulan. Even though all the resources, especially for the Western world, comes from us. It comes from Africa, the phenotypes and everything. I heard that in the spirit plane, going back to Gitas and all of that, where they do what they did in that film Hostel. That's why your boy Eli Roth say it's based on a true story. It ain't about no Thailand. Some of that shit may have occurred there, but not really. They would, I heard that in a lot of them cases, they take people from Africa. That's why you see a lot of, I think, Africans, because they sell them for nothing. They do a lot of human sacrifice there. It's a fucking shame where they kill our own people in rituals that I believe in the Oriental way of seeing things, frequency, vibration. I believe in seeing things from the perspective of spirit technology. I don't fuck with no candles, or it has a resonance in the spirit plane, but you got to understand the reason why it does it. Instead of, just do. Why? Same thing with crystals, there's entities in it. You have to understand the reason of why. With that being said, I heard the worst was they teleported a person out of existence. And another one, they removed her etheric wall, and she got eaten by giant roaches and was told, if you could stay on that pole we got you on for 5 hours, we'll let you go. Bullshit. They ain't gonna let anybody go. They removed it, and from what I understand, Sandra and them saw the woman getting eaten, but they couldn't see exactly what was eating her. Giant humanoid roaches, human looking, with a human face, was devouring her. You know, I heard that Prince William, when he eats babies, he'll, come back to and say, why am I doing this shit? Why am I doing... A lot of what I heard, those are some evil people. Baron Samedi was talking about it one night. Those are the most evil ass motherfuckers you can imagine. They do the most demonic shit. With that being said, those are some evil motherfuckers. There's a reason why people have innate disdain for them. They do some of the most awful fucking things, and that's where this Cassandra Nunez or Maria Blanco, I'm trying to find out the name for her lowest self, is getting her powers. She's stealing them from me, but she also getting them from them. And I'm getting, fed off bad by all of that shit, but she getting it from them. And they have a bunch of sacrifices in the spirit realm, 125 hertz freedom people, 1185 hertz transmutes. I remember they tried to get rid of Satan, and Satan was helping me the other day. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and throw these cards. The lovers, there's a lot of people making deals behind your back that ain't good, that don't have your best interest at heart. 6 of Swords, fears in your hopes card, you're moving in the right direction. That's going to be a major boon to you. You're going to get a lot of help, a lot of people looking out for you. There was something I was saying about you're going to get taken out of a very fucked up situation, and you're going to take power in your hands. King of Pentacles is the outcome. Like I say, take power back. 446 hertz is the frequency to do that. So 95 hertz frequency to harness the power of your ancestors. With that being said, if you want a more, I have to get this bitch out. If you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at ravenbyterror22@yahoo.com. Peace. And Ace of Pentacles is card crowning it. I'm not going to I can easily defeat her. I'm wearing frankincense and myrrh right now. I don't need that shit. I just don't. Because I'm compromised. In the past, she a topa. I could defeat her. But I can't deal with this shit. It's just, some got to give. And some got to be done. I got to reclaim my shit back. And I'm going to do that today. I know what I got to do, and I've been delaying on it hard. Don't sympathize with that Cassandra motherfucker. That's an evil motherfucker. Say that right now. I look back at that video and where my parents, I saw them being devoured by giant roaches. I heard this entity took them out their body. We ain't playing no games when my father's being used for that. You know, use 69694, 695 hertz for discernment. I had my brother come to me, Kristen, saying, "Hey, Raven, I'm happy to see you here." And he was in looked like a place where violence is done every single fucking day, and that made me cry. If I knew, and I knew it in jail to use frequencies to pull myself out, if I would have known that, the frequencies, because it helps you get your shit direct, accurately. Magic is good, but not all the way, because you got to direct. I would have conjured up the frequencies, put myself back together, get my people out that situation. I saw my dad turn into a roach one night. I saw it with this, you know, when I brought, you know, something calling on ancestors. Bunch of Cajuns and Creoles. Well, English. Blacks, Creoles. With that being said, I saw my parents as roaches. My mother was trapped in the roach room looking ghostly from that timeline. Same thing with my father and this Cassandra Nunez killing him off. Her and them other people at the shop here. And my dad, in another, whittled down to his soul consciousness. It's tragic what happened to my family, and I saw the fate in the future of what's going to happen. Something about a Quetzalcoatl curse. I know Kate has the whip to be able to control him. So some got to be done. I'm supposed to, I sold as an incarnation of Kate. Some got to be done. I remember having a dream where Dan Aykroyd was coming through trying to help me out with Baron Samedi. All right, so continuing on, from what I understand with my poor dad, in an astrovision where I almost got pulled in to it, sent it